to Dead Guys Talking, presented by They Said We Said. I'm John, aka Johnny Walker.
And I'm Tyler, and this is the show where we talk everything Walking Dead.
That's right, and to get us through, we always have the help of some very special guests. And today our special guest is Cinnamon Raisin Commodore, which is an American stout by one of my favorite breweries, Ballast Point.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go ahead and pop these guys open. And this is our episode 1.5. I say 1.5 if you follow me at all, why would you? But if you follow the rest of the They Said We Said channel, you will see my, if you see my video, it just titled The Rant, how we did do this last week and the YouTube gods smacked me in the face with their giant farmhand and we lost everything. So, this is our mulligan. I told you that it was going to happen. And I hope you enjoy. It's really just another excuse to drink a lot. Apparently, I had more than you. Yeah, that's. Welcome to the show.
All right.
Cheers, my friend.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Mm. Oh, yeah.
Good. I like it.
A lot of coffee, dark chocolates. I get the dark fruits. Don't get the I was expecting a cinnamon raisin bagel. Oh wait,
A little bit of the aftertaste.
Yeah, maybe it creeps up.
Actually, once you said that.
Oh, that's weird. You have to talk to get the full flavor.
You have to say cinnamon bagel.
It's like a genie.
Cinnamon raisin bagel, and then
It appeared. So we got a few topics to talk about. You know, this is our show that we talk about all things Walking Dead, as Tyler explained earlier. So we're going to jump right into it. First, we're going to do one of our weekly segments, and that is a character. Let's kick it off with someone that's had a lot of love and a lot of a very polarizing character. Let's go, Carl. So let's talk about Carl, from the beginning. First, Carl is played by Chandler Riggs, who in the beginning of the series he was kind of he was a kid. I mean, he was probably 10 years old, something like that.
Yeah, I guess around there. Yeah, a young 10-year-old, but yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to the geriatric 10-year-olds. Here we go again. Off and running.
This is already going ridiculous.
Usually doesn't derail this quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we met him when he was real young in the show, about around the same time, same age in the comic. They kept that pretty close.
Okay.
In the comic, he's kind of like Bart Simpson. He doesn't age. I mean, he does, but he's just, it's a lot slower progression because the time, obviously Chandler Rigg has to age.
Right.
So, in my opinion, and we'll just go over just Chandler Riggs at first, and then we'll kind of dive deep into the character's progression. I think as far as acting went, he did better as a smaller kid, and then got worse down the road.
He did good as that first season, and even all the way up until season 3, which is where he started to get become older into a teenager. But season 3 was kind of turning into a little badass.
Yeah. Yep.
But then it just got douchey from there.
Yeah, the hair, the everything. He's just really, really emo all the time. Although, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this last episode. I think this last episode is where he, as an actor, really shone.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he did an amazing job. The emotions, all the different emotions that he showed in this one episode, I think was on point. Yeah,
the part that was my favorite part of that scene was the favorite part of the episode when Negan actually makes him sing him a song.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kind of shaking all through it, and he's trying to be a badass, but then sometimes when he comes off the truck, he mows some people down, and then he just kind of, after he gets tackled, he's just kind of, okay, that's it. You could see in his face, he played it really well, where he just kind of accepted his fate.
We first meet Carl when, I believe, from season 1, it's when he finds out that his dad was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we see him on the playground in a flashback or something.
Yeah. And you see him run up to his mom, and then he just breaks down and starts crying, which already was a good acting job.
Yeah.
and then we go from there into the camp, that first camp with Shane when Rick's still in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I mean, when we see him every time, his acting job's really good. To the first time that he sees Rick, when Rick ends up at that same camp, and he just runs up to him, and it's just, I mean, that scene, was a very emotional scene, and I thought he did, a great job. And then
he did. He played it really well. They gave him a lot to do right off the bat, which was kind of a big risk for a show like this. Him getting shot in the woods. By Otis. I mean, no, actually,
that was in season 2.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because that was what led them to the farm.
Right. Yeah, so season 2, and then all the way up to the end when he essentially has to kill a father figure in Shane.
Oh, yeah. When he had to shoot Shane's Walker Shane.
Yeah, Walker Shane.
Yeah.
So that was great, and then of course I think when he really shined at acting wise. Or just character-wise, acting-wise, everything was in the prison. Obviously, the most horrible scene for Carl when the Lorg death.
He had to,
Carl's, and I know there's some big stuff coming from Carl. Like I've said before, I think the show's ultimately going to make him a main character. That's why I think they were probably flirting with recasting him because he's such an important character.
Oh yeah, definitely, and. I mean, Chandler Riggs has been with the show for so long. I don't see them recasting him. Mm-hmm. I think Chandler Riggs sticks around and Carl sticks around. And
yeah,
I mean, what do you? And I know you talked a little bit about it on your review, but I mean, let's talk a little bit more about the relationship between Carl and Negan.
Yeah,
and that interaction and where that's going. I mean, do you see Negan? Taking Carl under his wing and developing him as a leader?
I think so. I think, well, maybe at the start of the episode, I think so, just because that's another way to really hurt Rick. He wants to completely...
Destroy him.
Yeah, destroy him, demasculate him. Is that a word? It is now.
Yes.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
How about a ballast point?
How about a ballast point? It's just him trying to hit him harder. He with the whole arm cut. He wanted to cut his arm off or make Rick do it. He wanted to, just kind of bring him on board. And I think turning him is more impactful against Rick to kill him. Because if Negan goes ahead and kills everybody that Rick cares about, what does Rick have to lose?
Right.
So what harder way to hit him than to take his baby and oh yeah, that's a whole other thing. So Carl, so Carl.
But I was really disappointed in seasons 4 through 6 and the beginning of 7 with Carl, because season 3, the first episode of season 3 where him and Rick, they're scavenging a house, I believe, and they kick down the door, and I mean, Carl's got this, pistol, and he's just, you're just like, all right, Carl badass. Grew up,
Yeah.
And so I was really counting on him kind of developing into this badass.
Right.
And he just got to be such a, with the feathered, layered, I don't know what's going on with that hair.
I mean, maybe he just does douchey teenager well, like...
Teenagers aren't douchey. Sorry, kids.
I just think him as a character, he was getting whiny and kind of lame for a while. Even when he was trying to be menacing, it just was coming off as kind of dopey. And then with the episode with Enid, that I thought he did really well there, because it looked like it almost took like him going back and putting on like little kid hat again when they find the rollerblades. And I think he played that off really well. And then this last episode, I think he did great.
The way that these last two episodes. These last two episodes.
Yeah.
And the way he's really kind of portrayed the image that they're directing him. He's leading up to, I guess not last episode, but the one with him and Enid.
Yeah.
Which was actually
Go-Getters.
2 episodes ago, right?
Go-Getters,
they have that exciting terror episode.
God, are you guys lucky that last week got erased? Because the tangent.
Oh, yeah.
The tangent continued.
I still think he's being a little harsh. But,
I can't even.
The
My blood
episode
pressure
wasn't
can't
the
take
greatest episode ever, but so
it.
anyways,
Stupid. Fist bumping mother. Ugh.
so that episode with where he jumps into the box truck with Jesus,
Jesus, yeah.
Jesus, and into just making a really just clouded decision. I mean that's a
Suicide mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Suicide mission.
And the way that him and Michonne have just really been, throughout the seasons ever since we first got introduced to Michonne.
Right.
Michonne and Carl have really, really, gotten close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're both have that clouded vision right now. They're both just seeing real foggy, just anger, and it shows in the scenes where Michonne's firing off that rifle and trying to shoot the walkers, and she's just blatantly just missing every time.
No one can hit anything in this show.
Right?
Like, seriously.
And then Carl with the dartboard where he's just chucking these darts, and he's not just barely missing and falling. No, he's chucking them hard and just with anger, but every single one is missing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Perception's not his friend any longer.
Yes. His clouded vision, no pun intended, for him is there. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think? I mean, that's kind of the Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman. Do you think that's their goal with showing these scenes with those two?
I think that nothing's by mistake. I think even when there's a lot of misdirection in this show. Even if it isn't there to set up something, it's there to invoke ideas and topics, and I think that's what this show does so well.
Absolutely.
Especially with the episode when Daryl first got to the sanctuary, he kind of looks up and he sees that chalkboard, and it says Morse code, and it has like Morse code things. And then later on, when they brought Daryl back to Alexandria, and he's kind of like blinking hard. It's just little things like that. It's like, because fans like us were just like, what did that mean? Did he learn Morse code?
Yeah.
Is he saying something to Rick? Like, what the hell's going on? And it turned out, and Scott Gimple just said no. He's like, I love our fans for putting all these great things together, but we just did it just to screw with you.
Throw you off.
Yeah. So it could very well be some kind of foreshadowing, but it very well just could be The Walking Dead.
Randomness or intentionally throwing you off.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of, meanings in a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It could just be just to get some guys like us to drink beer and talk about it.
Exactly. So I think that everyone's had enough of Coral.
Carl!
So we're going to move on to our number 2 topic. That sets us up to our number 2 topic of the night. It's not that easy to say, people, all right? Give me a break. Is the show, and this kind of goes off what we just said about misdirection and maybe foreshadowing, but is the show setting up a big reverse heel turn for Negan and Dwight? Are they making them seem sympathetic this last episode? Because they are setting them up to keep around and maybe take an anti-hero turn. What do you think?
I see it more with Dwight than with Negan. Because, Negan is just a crazy, narcissistic, just madman.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's ever any coming back from that.
Okay.
He would have to be humbled in a crazy way, and there's only way he can be humbled is, I think, through death.
Yeah, by Lucille hit. Which I think, if they're,
would be,
yeah,
some
fitting.
good irony.
Fitting, yeah.
But Dwight, I really see it happening with Dwight. To me, it's almost obvious that they're setting that up.
Okay.
Because he's got to turn on Negan.
Right.
Nobody can take that and not just have, having a lot of pent up,
Yeah,
anger
for sure
towards somebody.
For sure. And it's like Negan's playing with fire, no pun intended, with the whole iron and whatnot, is because, he purposely went to, his number one hoe and the number one Negan sister wife and shoved his tongue down her throat right when he called in Daryl and Dwight. He did that on purpose, just to be like, I am King Dick.
Oh, yeah.
You think she's helping you up? F you. You
Yeah.
think she's still in love with you? No, everything is fine.
You are my bitch. and she is my
Yeah,
bitch,
and you're my
you know?
first lieutenant, and you're still my bitch.
Yeah, the secret, the stairwell, conversations between.
I do like those little confessional,
Right.
scenes. I really do like those.
When Dwight told Daryl at the end of, I don't know, whatever episode it was, a couple episodes ago, when he said, hey, just like give in, like really just sympathetic, like, hey, dude, like, come on, it's gonna be better for you just to give in.
Right.
And then with the motorcycle,
Right.
when he tells him, hey, you can have this back, you
Yep.
know, and I don't know, I mean, Dwight is so complete polar opposites at times, because that, you look at the scene where you mentioned it on, your review, where he's dumping out the water, the canteens,
Yeah.
and, does stuff like that, but then he...
Went the extra mile to be an asshole.
Right. But then he gets the motorcycle,
Right.
and then, you think he'd want to just rub it in Daryl's face,
Mhm.
but he's like, hey, dude, you can have this if you just...
Work for it.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
Yeah. So little things like that show humanity in him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just so broken because of what Negan's done to him, and he just wants to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see Dwight, but Negan, I don't know. I don't see it. I think he's just a madman.
I don't know. I saw some cracks in the armor. Well, first, I just want to say something about Dwight. Is what do you think it's going to take? Is going to be the straw that broke the back. I think it's we got close with him just making out with his ex-wife in front of him all the time. But maybe Negan, and I don't know. Maybe Negan flies out the handle once and like smacks her or something, and then he's gonna freak out. But that's the thing, and so that brings me with the Negan thing. Is Negan's showing some cracks in this facade?
Yeah.
He just wanted to hang out, and he even did it while he was killing the people on their knees in the first episode, where he looked genuinely kind of like, I'm sorry, I know this is hard on you, but then jump back into being an ass. Or with Carl, he's like, I'm sorry, sometimes I forget you're just a kid.
Yeah.
Or, he has these little moments, and when you see his face, when he walks in and sees Baby Judith for the first time, like, his face lights up.
Yeah.
And he becomes like a human,
Right. For
then,
a brief moment.
For a brief moment, and then he completely turns and says, "I'm just going to kill your older brother and your father, and just live here." So I mean, I know it's kind of like he's multiple personality or something, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's a narcissist. I think he's a madman, like I've already said multiple times.
Total ruthless.
But at the same time, I think there's a little of the King Ezekiel effect where, he's has to have this, and for him, it's not just a larger than life. He has to cast fear into everybody to get everybody, like we discussed before.
Yeah.
Where the diplomatic leader, where I guess I don't know if you really call the governor diplomatic,
Right.
More so than Negan.
Yes.
Negan, leads with an iron fist.
Correct.
He leads with, or an iron bat in this
Iron
case.
bat. Sorry for the iron bat.
Yeah.
It's not wood and has barbed wire.
Yeah.
We're not that big yet.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
episode 1.
we're trying. Okay, don't judge.
the governor and Negan. So you're, in.
But I forget where my point.
Right, yeah.
Bringing in the governor.
Well, you and I were we've spoken about this before. Is the governor had his shit together more as far as being a politician almost. And, he could lead.
Sure.
He was a better leader. He could lead people. And
Absolutely.
then his downfall was his pride. He let his pride get in the way. It was like a Walter White thing from Breaking Bad. And that's how his whole house crumbled. Even when he got dealt a whole fresh hand, a second chance, he still screwed it up because it was pride. Negan's all that. Well, he's prideful, yet he's just a bully. Like that's the best way to say it. I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If there was, I don't know, between narcissist and bully, I mean,
You'd say yeah.
But I mean, he's a badass. He leads with that iron fist.
It's
and
just
there's
all
way to
intimidation.
but yes, there is because I mean, he won't. He doesn't put his hands, on a woman. He won't beat the woman.
Right.
And he obviously does some other really, terrible things.
Right.
to
Exactly.
women.
Sister
I think
wives.
She even said it. What's Sherry? Right?
Sherry, yeah.
I just want to call her Sharon.
Sure. Call her whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Yeah, it's true. It's your show, my friend. It's your show.
It's our show.
It's your world. I'm just living in it.
It's our show. What do you want to talk about now? What do we have to keep talking about Walking Dead? You know what?
Okay.
Ever number count at 1 for Tyler. Finally, just took 1.5 episodes.
Yeah. But you know,
Again.
Sherry says, you know, sometimes I forget what her words were, but she implied that sometimes what he does is worse than hitting her.
Right.
She would rather him hit her. You know.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, the fact that he won't hit a woman, you know, adds definitely, you know.
Mhm. He has a certain code.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
It's his
a good way to
code.
put it. Right.
Yeah.
But there is some humanity to it, I
yeah.
guess. You know.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't think he's gonna go, you know, into a turnaround to be like
Full anti-hero kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still saying it. 2 seasons. The last 2 seasons.
2 seasons then. Wow. That would be a big one. Because no spoilers for upcoming comics or anything. They kind of show you a little bit into Negan's future and in Negan's past, which I really am waiting on that. I hope we get that this season. It is a big Negan past episode. I think that would be great. But yeah, Negan's got a code. Negan's got rules, and he thinks the rules are very important, but they are his rules. So it's just like,
Right.
he even tells Carl, he's just like, yeah, I got like 6, 7 wives. He's just like, why this is a new world. Why not make up your own rules?
Yeah.
So and as far as he does have a certain code as far as women and children go. He doesn't take any pleasure in hurting children. He doesn't take any pleasure in hurting women, but physically harming. That, like you said, that. Oh, you're right. You need water? Are you okay? I mean, I'm a trained.
I'm just dying here.
Yeah, these would be the real dead guys talking. So he may not physically, rape the women or physically hurt them in a way, but he mentally does, because he makes them seem like they have a choice. But it's like, hey, you could. I don't want anyone here that doesn't want to be here. But if you go back, I'm going to burn your boyfriend's face, and I'm going to, put you on the wall and all that. They don't have a damn choice.
Yeah, exactly. They don't.
Yeah.
I think that's another play into his, narcissistic ways. Is he almost like, I don't even know if almost. I think he actually does convince himself.
Yeah.
That they actually want him.
Right.
You can see between his conversation with, him and Sherry when she calls him an asshole, and he's like, oh, you like me, and so I think he really just convinces himself that these women actually really are choosing to be with him.
Yeah, or my men want to follow me, or it's just like he believes his own bullshit at this point.
Yeah,
Which is great.
And he is his biggest fan. I don't see him changing his ways.
Right.
I see him. He's gotta die, and I don't know. Who do we think? How does he die? I guess you want to go into that now, or since we're on the topic. Or
we'll bring Dwight back into it too. So if I were to guess, just make just quick kind of death predictions for the two of them, I would say the show's not big enough for Daryl and Dwight. I think one of them's going, and I think it might be as early as the end of the season, like the actual season finale, not so much the mid-season finale.
Okay.
I think one of them will wind up going, and Dwight's turn might just be real quick. He might do something to sacrifice himself for Daryl's. I don't know, but I think I think Dwight's gonna be the one that dies, and I think they do keep Negan around, especially because he's such a draw. But
yeah, and they need that right now.
Yeah. Yes.
I think you're right with Dwight. I see him having like a Merle Dixon type death.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where
yeah. Well put.
He finally becomes. He does something like cool.
Yeah.
And selfless.
Mm-hmm.
And non-douchey, and then.
And that's it. Yeah. That's a great comparison. Yeah. Dwight seems like the new. Yeah, and it's funny because they're always tied with Daryl.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they keep him around. Maybe he takes a turn. I mean, from episode 1, I didn't like Daryl. Daryl was a jackass.
Oh yeah.
That's
That's
then now he's one of the most beloved characters, if not the most beloved character on the show. So.
Right. So we're gonna go to number 3, and this one I just want to first off, I want to say thank you to Trev's channel. If you like Walking Dead, you've heard of Trev's channel before. I'm put his face, in my magical editing magic. You'll see I put his face. Yeah, I don't know where. Maybe I put his face right here.
Maybe right here between us.
So Trev's channel kind of broke this news. It was actually from one of his comment section, which was really cool. So PPP, you and I have talked about PPP before. That was at the end of my favorite episode ever, when Heath goes missing and Tara, my favorite character ever, finds a little like card or some kind of something,
like a key card or
yeah,
something,
and it says PPP on it. So one of a very intelligent, a lot smarter than myself, researched this, and PPP is actually I don't know if you want to say code or something, but it's kind of like a musical note for like if you're singing, and PPP is the code for whispering. So basically, they're setting it up they're letting these hardcore people that cracked this know that the Whisperers are coming. The Whisperers have taken Heath, and there we go.
Okay.
Do you know who the Whisperers are?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're like, I don't know.
Who's whispering?
You're sitting here like, and? So?
What is this whispering you're speaking of?
Oh, damn. Okay, so the Whisperers are another big bad. They're actually the current big bad in the comics.
So, they haven't been introduced to the show yet.
Not in the show.
Okay, so most things.
This is their soft introduction.
Soft. No
Soft.
pun intended, Mister.
So just a real quick, with no spoilers at all, I won't say anything, but right now the current kind of big bad is this group called the Whisperers. I said no spoilers.
Right.
I don't want to say anything
Okay.
as far as that goes. The only thing that I can tell you about the Whisperers is they are a lot more feral than any other human group, even more so than the wolves. They actually walk around wearing, not only doing the guts trick, they live in the walker's skin. They actually skin the walkers alive and walk around with walker masks on, and they basically live among the walkers, and they don't like any civilization. They just think that civilization fell, and it's stupid to try to hold on to humanity at all.
And that everyone should just be as crazy
And
as they are.
exactly, and it's survival of the fittest. They are just complete and consummate hunters, and they have a leader, and then they have another kind of leader, and I won't spoil any of that. But this little Easter egg with the place card is giving them an introduction to the show.
Okay, so we've got another group.
Oof, this group is this group is no joke. But I mean, it sucks for Heath. Is all I say. Is all I'm gonna say. And I mean, I don't know anything in the comics as far as Heath goes, but
Right, that's not a group you want to be
no,
taken by.
hell no. But I want to know if they're so crazy and like feral. Why do they have little swipe cards? They clock in to wear those zombie suits.
Hey, they take shifts.
I know. Okay, well, yeah, that's PPP. In a nutshell, in a walker skin.
I heard from, I heard that even, is it Alana Masterson?
Yeah.
That she didn't even know what PPP was.
Ah.
And she said, nobody except for Kirkman knew. But
Nice.
maybe there's a little, maybe that was the case, and then people have figured it out because of the, the reference.
Or maybe it's like the Morse code thing. Maybe it's there for people to crack, and then it is nothing.
Maybe it means absolutely
nothing. Curse you, Kirkman.
So will we see a new group? Maybe we won't.
Maybe. I mean, they're inevitable. They're so huge for the overarching story. They're inevitable, but they're so far down the road. I mean, we haven't even done anything
Really.
as far as fighting against the Saviors yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there has to be other groups because the Saviors have to get, dethroned, and the only way is going to be by a combination of groups.
Right.
And I think that's where Oceanside comes into play. Obviously,
yeah.
That the only meaning out of that episode was that group who's going to help fight, the Saviors and dethrone.
Still that episode.
Yeah.
So moving on. Any more questions on PPP?
No, sir.
I kind of have to pee. So next, unfortunately, next week is already mid-season finale.
I know it.
And fear not, Deadheads, we will not be going anywhere. We just kicked this thing off. We're still going to be doing weekly Dead Guys Talking videos, shows.
Nowhere.
No, ain't going nowhere. I'm going to try to line up guests, not just of the malt and barley kind, even though they'll always be invited too.
Every time.
Every time. 60% of the time, every time.
That's right.
And we're trying to, I guess I could announce it for the first time now, because whatever didn't happen before, is I'm gonna try to kick off a Walking Dead survival trivia, and that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be singles matches. It's gonna be tournaments, tournament style, and team league as well. So I have a lot of people lined up to want to participate in this. So look for those soon. So we're not going away, is all I'm saying.
We're not going anywhere, folks.
Not going anywhere. So now,
Fear not, Deadheads.
fear not The Walking Dead, because we'll be doing this for Fear too, I think.
I'm in.
Okay, so mid-season finale predictions. I just want to get your thoughts on if anyone's going to eat it, what's going on with the magical single bullet. Really, one bullet.
It's gotta have a meaning.
Just theories. Just throw out some craziness about the mid-season finale. Heart still beating.
Well, I'm gonna say nobody dies.
Whoa, that is a big one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
That's a
nobody
surprising
dies,
one.
but I'm gonna say the first episode back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say they lead into somebody dying
Okay.
at the end of the mid-season finale because they've got to keep us hanging.
Okay.
Then
Ugh,
the first
thanks.
episode back, it reveals who dies.
Oh,
that's,
God.
that's my prediction right there.
That's gonna be every time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not the first one. It won't be the first or the last.
More dumpsters. More bats.
Yeah, they've got to find some way to,
Hook us.
yeah.
Damn it.
So that's my theory with death,
Okay.
or my prediction. I don't know what you want to call it.
So no death. No death. So
no death in The Walking Dead.
I'll say death prediction. I think Spencer doesn't make it out alive. I think Spencer's done.
Out of the mid-season finale.
Yes. This next episode. Dunskies. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a given. But that's the obvious one. I want to throw out just kind of a Hail Mary too. I think Rosita gets it.
Really?
Yes, because I think she screws up. I think she's too emotional with this one single damn bullet.
She is very emotional.
Negan, clean-shaven Negan from the trailer next week is covered in blood,
Yeah, I saw that.
and it better not be Judas or I'm actually out.
Yeah,
I can't take
will
that.
stop. Then we will.
Yeah,
We go
yeah.
away.
Right? Yeah. Then we're just gonna be talking about like Gilmore Girls.
That's true. Which we do got to get that going still.
I know, man. Well, I heard they brought it back. Let's just talk about it now. It's our show.
All right.
It's our show.
Yes. Gil, I don't
I
know any of their names.
I
I'm
don't
just
either.
kind of throwing another joke at.
How many Gilmore Girls are there?
No idea.
Any more
Mid-season finale.
theories?
So I'm saying nobody dies. I'm saying maybe in the mid-season or the first episode back.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to, and I've got to say Spencer probably is that guy.
Good.
Um,
I almost had our third person tonight. Guess
Oh,
what
yeah.
his name is.
Spencer.
I would have had a field day with
Yes,
that.
yes.
But maybe later, maybe in a future episode, we'll get Spencer on.
Spencer will be waiting for you, buddy.
Right. After you're dead in the next episode, you got a job.
It's true. Rosita, though, I don't see her dying.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see her dying. I see her. She's definitely. She's on the Carl and Michonne train with the foggy vision and just. I mean, she's even more angry.
Yeah.
But I see her eventually channeling that into plotting something good.
Okay.
But I guess to go along with that, I mean, she's got this bullet. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Someone's gonna screw up.
So what happens? Who is the recipient, or what is the recipient of the bullet?
I think nothing. I think she screws up.
misses?
Yeah, because everyone can't shoot in this damn show.
Well, all the old school people, besides Michonne, can shoot. I mean, Oceanside couldn't hit anything, but they have an arsenal of guns for no reason.
Bah, 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 bah. You're like, get her!
She could either miss. It could be Negan. It could be a Walker, or I'm saying Spencer.
Okay.
So maybe put in the comments what you think, if you think any of those four, or if I'm completely off base.
Nice. So if anyone dies, it's Spencer. You're saying in this next episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still think it's going to be on the episode back is when he's going to die, and it's going to be very anticlimactic because we're going to be waiting to see who dies. And
Yeah.
Spencer.
Who cares about it?
I still think they'll use that. They'll use that as the hook, and it'll be anticlimactic, and they might end up losing more viewers. But that's my prediction.
When the priest thinks you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
This is true. This is
God,
true.
please, let's kill Spencer.
Which
Not Spencer, buddy. Spencer. Just hurt
I don't
him
know.
bad.
But
He's alright. He's like, I'm never coming on the show now, asshole.
you guys want to kill me?
All right, so
Okay, so
now this brings us to our last topic of the evening, and I'm gonna let Tyler. Or I'm not gonna let you do anything because I don't own you, girl. So this is also gonna be every week. We're gonna do this segment, and we're gonna switch it up. Tyler, let's get our big five.
all right, Tyler's big five. We're gonna go with your top 5 characters that are no longer living.
Ooh, nice. So let's just preface this. I have no idea. I have no idea what the big five is before you say it on air. So I have no idea.
No idea. I just laid it on him right now. So
Right.
So it doesn't have any time to prepare. So it's all just right now at the top of his head. Top 5.
Well, you kick it off
Big
first.
5. Okay, so
So we'll go. I know this was confusing.
Okay, this whole big 5 thing, he threw me off a little bit on the last episode that you won't see.
God, it was so good.
And I wasn't prepared. I had to get my top 5. It was a totally different topic, by the way. It was a different big 5.
Yeah, and you're like, man, I dodged a bullet on that one. No, I'll bring it up again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Single
I
bullet.
wasn't prepared to put it in order after he told me. So I had it, and there was...
Right.
Anyways,
Anyways,
you might be glad you missed that.
it was like, you should have been there, joke, but we think it's damn funny. So
Yes, we did.
Number 5. So he's gonna give his 5. I'll give my number 5, and then we'll kind of alternate.
So I'm going to go, my number 5 is Beth.
Beth.
Started as a character, very quiet, very kind of, not very much in the spotlight. Once she started to progress more as a character, and her and Daryl were together in the, in the woods after the prison. And I really liked where her character was going. She was always happy, positive. She was the one singing "Kumbaya" by the campfire.
Right? She was a shining light.
And you didn't like her? You didn't like
No,
Beth?
I like Beth. I like
I
Beth.
thought you said you didn't like her.
No, I like Beth. Sorry.
Yeah, don't talk about
No, damn. I like Beth, man.
So, yeah, that's my number 5.
Number 5, Beth. Okay. I'm going to go number 5. I'm going to say Andrea.
Really?
Yes. And because of spoiler reasons. But, well, that's not fun for anyone. I'll just say spoiler for this. Spoiler alert for comics. I'll even put up a little spoiler thing if you guys want. And spoiler alert for you. But Andrea
I
is...
hear a lot about... Yeah, she's still alive.
She's still alive. She
Right, yeah.
is basically all I'm saying. And she basically is kind of the Michonne as far as love interest goes with Rick
That's what I heard.
in the comic book. So I actually was really surprised that they killed Andrea off in the show. And they did it kind of unceremoniously. I mean, it was fitting. I liked the way she went out, but it was, like I said, she died off screen. I was just really, I didn't think they were going to kill Andrea off. So.
Yeah, and they killed her after, she had her kind of obnoxious ways. And
Yes.
then, once again, she was one of the ones where she became a lot less obnoxious right before she got axed.
Right.
So, that's a good one.
Yeah. All right, number 4.
Okay, so my number 4 is going to be... my number 4 is going to be Tyrese.
Oh, yeah.
I expected... you and I talked about it. I expected a lot more out of Tyrese.
Sure.
I was a little misinformed about his role in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he died sooner in the comics than I had thought.
Yeah.
But I think he was also introduced earlier, wasn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
And
It was just in volume 2 or something. I forget the actual issue. I'm not
and he was pretty main character.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
up until he died.
Mm-hmm.
But so when he got introduced, I was, I had heard that he was kind of a big character in the comic books and that he was a really cool character. So I was really looking forward to seeing Tyrese be a long-term solid character.
Oh
so.
yeah, he was such a badass, and he had like the biggest heart.
Right,
he was great.
Exactly, he's just a big, solid dude, but he was still just like a gentleman,
Yep.
I guess for as much as he can be a gentleman in the apartment.
He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he was a stand-up guy.
Okay, so my number 4, I'm gonna go. My number 4 is Herschel. Herschel, of course, is a big character. Again, spoiler alert for comics: Herschel's still alive.
Right.
And I thought that, they really, really killed Maggie's entire clan in the show.
Yeah.
Like they took everyone away from
Yeah.
Maggie in the show.
And that's I think gonna be, I guess off topic, but that's gonna be part of the development of Maggie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It shapes her for sure, but she goes from the farmer's daughter, like Glenn so eloquently said,
Yes,
"Hello, farmer's daughter."
Season 2.
Yeah. To just a complete leader. Like
Absolutely.
she's just. She's a little broken now, but you could see, even in the show that's how she's going.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even when she's broken, she's still like when she stood up to Gregor. It's like, we're staying here. You're gonna learn my name.
Yeah.
Call me Maggie. She's
Right.
still. She's still got some fire.
Yeah.
So.
Which is awesome. So yeah, that's mine. Number 3.
So my number 3 is Abraham. Once again, another character that I was looking forward to sticking around for a long time.
Such
with
good lines.
his witty lines, and he once again was a badass, and the Fu Manchu, and just he just had this outrageous kind of military macho type personality, but at the same time he had like this reflectiveness about him.
Yeah.
Reflectiveness.
Yeah.
But then towards the end of his life, just like once again with everyone who dies, they either start to gain a lot of clarity,
Of course,
or
yeah.
become cool. And he started to gain a lot of clarity, and that's why he was. Everybody knew he was going to be the one, if not one of the ones.
Yeah,
Going to get
I thought so.
Lucille.
Yep.
But yeah. So
Yeah,
that's my number 3.
And I love Abraham's progression in the show, even more so than in the comic book, because he outlived his counterpart,
Okay.
his written counterpart.
Oh, really?
And yeah, they gave him a lot better, more meaningful death. He actually got the death that Denise got in the comic. He got the arrow through the eye. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a bit unceremonious, but it was great how he was in the show. Like, he's one of the characters that's better in the show than in the book. Yeah, so I of course agree. Now I've got to think, because that was mine. Okay, so this one is different reason from the past 2 I picked, and I'm kind of cheating because I'm picking a couple of characters, but it makes sense, and that's the Anderson family. How they went out in the episode of No Way Out was exactly like it was in the book. How the show had the balls to pull the trigger, kill 2 kids basically in the span of 15 seconds, and have the mom get eaten right then and there. It was crazy to read, but it was crazy to see on the screen. So that one was just like, wow. I guess that kind of goes in a couple different categories of shocking and whatever. But I was a little taken aback because I thought they were going to switch it up just a little bit and have at least 1 or 2 of them survive.
Right.
So that's my pick for number 3, is the entire Anderson family from Alexandria.
And that was Jesse and Sam. Right?
Yes, and douche.
Yeah. And I was looking forward to Jesse and Rick in there.
Yep.
So okay, that's a good one.
Number 2.
Okay, so now we're going to number 2. My number 2 is Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn, man, he was just one of my favorite characters throughout the whole show. Whether when at the beginning of the first season, when he was just a little delivery boy that was calling Rick names through the walkie-talkie,
Right.
Glenn's character development. The one thing that the AMC, not the AMC,
Yeah.
Well, the AMC's Walking Dead. But,
Yeah.
you know, the Walking Dead and like Robert Kirkman and crew did well and have continued to do well is develop characters.
Mhm.
And the way they developed Glenn, man, like he was just turning into like ever since I think season 3 or 4, like he just started really just to become a leader,
Oh yeah.
a badass. I mean, coming from just the
Pizza
you know,
delivery boy,
yeah, the
right?
delivery boy, and he was just I don't know, he was just such a good character.
Oh,
One of my favorites on the show through the whole time, and to lose him was rough.
Absolutely.
Especially after we got teased with the dumpster. You know?
Yeah, man, Glenn had 9 lives, but
Yeah.
they ran out. But yeah, I think Glenn. I again like I mentioned with the Anderson family. I love that they had the balls to go exactly like they did, even though people that have read the comics or whatever kind of knew what was happening. They threw a little twist on it with Abraham,
Right.
but everyone saw through that misdirection. I think. And his death was amazing. Like, probably best death on the show.
And
Like,
to the T
to
from
the
the
T.
comic.
Oh
right?
man, to the popping out eye, to the twitching on the ground.
Really?
It was super brutal. And his character, you're right. His character was so good. Like, what's his name? Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun. Yeah. He was so great, and he really owned that character.
Yeah.
And my number 2, I'm gonna go with Merle.
Really?
Yeah.
As your favorite, as one of your favorite
Yeah.
characters. Oh man, I
Yeah.
hated Merle. He was just a dick.
Yeah, he was, and that's why I liked him. He was the Abraham before there was an Abraham.
No way. Abraham.
No
was,
way!
Abraham was cool.
That was
Merle
bitch.
was a freaking jerk.
I liked him, and I liked how because you could tell that was his a-hole persona was Merle from the real world too. I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The meth.
Yeah, before the apocalypse. So
He even got meth from Walter White.
I know he really did.
Yeah, he had the blue
Nice
meth.
little Easter egg. I thought his character arc was so fun because he was such a heel from the very beginning. We hated Merle from episode 1 or episode 2 or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was.
And he was such a douche, and right until the end, and that's when he just kind of made this completely uncharacteristic turn. I really appreciated that, and I really like Michael Roker or whatever his name is from
yeah.
Mallrats.
Yeah, and he played that role.
Oh man,
perfect.
kind of in everything he personifies that. But I just wanted one person to ask him if he wanted a chocolate covered pretzel. So that's my number 2.
Wow, that's surprising. Okay. Well, my number 1 is going to be a repeat from John's. My number 1 is Herschel.
Oh, okay, wow.
And that was a character that I really did not like.
Right,
When he was
yeah.
first introduced.
He was such a
Him
zealot.
not wanting to kill.
Yeah.
Get your guns off my property.
Right.
To just becoming a leader. Again, a leader. I mean, he was Rick's, advisor.
Mhm.
He's who Rick went to for advice. He's pretty much who everybody went to for clarity, for
Yes.
advice,
He was a
for
village
direction.
elder.
And once again, as he gained more clarity and as he gained more...
Acceptance of how things are.
Yeah.
Just kind of yeah.
And the wisdom, and obviously not just because of his age, but he just gained so much wisdom for the apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he left. But I mean... Once again, another one that they teased us with when he had the leg bite.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
yeah.
They cut off his leg and he survived and he's
Right,
walking around with
right.
a fake leg.
So
and,
good.
and the ponytail and the white beard.
Oh, he got so cool. Like Robert Duvall and shit from the road.
Dude, yeah. He just became such one of my favorite characters. And then when he died and how tragic it was for Beth and Maggie and Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it was rough after a crazy episode.
Yeah.
With the prison battle with the governor and his new group with Tara and those folks. So that would be my number 1 favorite
Nice.
character that is no longer alive.
It's great. Yeah, he really was. There's a saying you can't teach old dog new tricks. He completely, went over to. He wasn't just like some. What am I looking for? Some ignorant person. Like he's just like, okay, fine. I've seen it. I've seen the light, so to speak, or the darkness, so to speak.
Yeah.
And now let's. I have a surviving family member to take care of, and I'm just glad that he didn't have to live to see Beth's death, because that would have like sent him over the edge.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And then my number one, which is weird because it's all the way back to season 2, but is Shane.
How did I know? This? How did I know?
I mean, yes, we all saw it coming. We all knew it was going to happen. But John Bernthal is such, like, he just brings whatever he's in to a new level.
Oh yeah.
And he was just, I'm sorry, but he was like a big leaguer playing with minor leaguers, in my opinion. Okay, that's too harsh. It's way too harsh.
Yeah, I wouldn't say minor leaguer, but
Yeah.
he was a step above.
He was a step above.
You know.
He was so good, and like even what he's done, in, like for Daredevil season 2 when he was the Punisher, anything that guy touches, like he was just going on. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Okay, but I mean, he was just going on as like a guest kind of character as the Punisher on Daredevil season 2. He knocked it out of the park so flippin' hard that they gave him his own show. They're just like, okay, you got a Punisher show, you get a whole thing, because that's just how great this guy is. So
And they're both really good shows, right?
Oh
From
my
what you said,
God! Oh,
some of the reviews.
Daredevil season 2, Jesus Christ!
Really?
It's so, and it's him. I mean, it's everyone else too, but it's him.
That's
He
his show.
made that damn show into something else.
Nice.
But since John Bernthal's been gone off the show, there's just been kind of this void, and I really miss that character. And which is so funny because Rick is Shane now.
Yeah.
He completely, like, he has the same mentality where he's just like, yeah, it's kind of survival of the fittest, but he still cares about who he cares about and screw everyone else. And that's kind of how, except for recently.
Yeah. Well, except for Shane was wanted to kill Rick.
He kind of had a honey pot that he was interested in that was kind of pushing that along. But
in an apocalyptic world, you got someone as hot as Lord.
But yeah, he was just, I miss him on the show, but I understand why it had to happen, and of course it had to happen, but you say, people that we miss are...
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Shane's one of those, I think if he were still alive, he would be a Negan-type character.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, he had that
good
in
point.
him. He had that just crazy,
Yep.
just focused, like, do whatever it takes to
That's
be
a great point.
the guy.
Yep. Yeah, because Rick, it's taken this long in the Apocalypse for Rick to get where Shane was in season 2. So Shane was actually more evolved. He adapted faster
Yeah.
in the new surroundings, and he was better.
But I know at the same time he was dangerous. Like I said, he may be a Negan type character if he were still alive. So
Yeah.
I think along with as much as I liked Shane and his character and just his acting job, the episode where he shaved his head, and I mean, dude,
Such a good scene.
Yeah, he showed that anger. He showed that wild heart. That I think he was just dangerous.
Yep.
And I think he had to go.
Yeah, I think the group was not ready for Shane yet.
Right.
And then it evolved into the group needing
A Shane.
a Shane, and that's what Rick had to
That's
become.
what Rick is becoming.
Which
Yeah.
is ironic and great, and that's why the show is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Guys, that is it for us this week. Tyler, where can the good people find you on social media? Let's bring that on.
Oh.
I mean, we might have fans one day.
That's true.
People
That's
might want
true.
to ask you questions. I mean, you could contact myself or Tyler in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this content, it's free. It has nothing but pluses. You get when you subscribe, you get you get notified when we're doing stuff like this, and at no cost to you. So
And if
please.
there's something you want to see different or something you'd like to see, let us know in the comments, and we will try to abide.
We feed trolls.
It's true.
So you can find me at Jonathan Dunning on Facebook, and you can find me at you can find me at Jon Snow 21 on Instagram, and you could find me at Gunther Dunn. You can find me at Gunther Dunn on Tumblr. Couple different names. I'm sorry about that.
It's his multiple personality.
That's right. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this giant show, and we look forward to doing it again for you next week. So, for myself, my name is John, aka Johnny Walker.
Tyler,
And we'll see you next time.
cheers.
Cheers.